All right. Looks like we are live. Okay. So I'll give a little bit of buffer so that people could get the notification, come on here. But if you are here, could you let me know if the video and audio quality are good? Hopefully it's fine. I'm trying a little bit of new stuff. I don't have my uh, desktop mic here. Um, hey, Carrick. Looks like, or thanks for making it. Whatchamacall. Hopefully the video and audio quality is fine. Because I am trying some new stuff here. Okay, good. It is good. Perfect. All right. So I guess while we're waiting for hopefully more people to come, welcome everyone to the stream. Happy New Year. I hope you had a great time celebrating the new year. Jury Dude did not call today. Oh boy. Awesome. That's cool. Okay. So yeah, hope your holiday celebrations went well. And I guess happy birthday to 808 Coaster Life because today this channel officially turned 6 years old. If you could believe it, I am feeling very old right now. Uh, but here we are, 6 years. Uh, yeah. So I guess the stream's itinerary is gonna go like this. We're gonna start with the Q&A for like around 15 minutes. So feel free to start submitting any questions you want uh, while I do this, I guess. And then after the first Q&A is over, we're gonna do a tier list, and I'll explain more about it. But basically, I'll be ranking new for 2024 coasters based on how excited I am for them. Of course, you guys can pitch in as well. Uh, so I'll add more details when we come to that. And then after that, we're gonna do like 4 to 5 rounds of Guess the Coaster. If you don't know how that game works from Carrick's live streams, then I can briefly explain. But yeah, I'll do that when the time comes. And then after that, we'll do a final Q&A. That'll go on for however long I see fit. Um, so, uh, yeah, I guess that being said, by word, 2023 was actually a pretty good year for the channel. While I didn't actually post a lot of content, I actually went to a park last year. um, so you probably saw the Six Flags Magic Mountain content. So big shout out to Carrick from Coaster Hour for getting me out to Six Flags Magic Mountain. Because of that, I got a lot more content for you guys. I just need the time to do it all. Uh, but my coaster count is now at like 56 as opposed to 37. So that was a very fun trip. Uh, and then after that, well, not too much happened, but just tried to get content out uh, in the middle of really busy semesters in college. If you're in an engineering college, you'll probably understand what I mean. It's don't get too much free time in it. So I guess that was 2023. What can you guys expect from this channel? Um, I don't have any current park plans at the moment. That may change. So I will let y'all know if anything like that happens. Uh, as for content, I'm definitely going to pump out more reviews because I am very behind on them. And plus, I got a lot more stuff from Magic Mountain, even Hershey Park. I still never finished all the Hershey Park reviews. And then besides that, expect like all the normal stuff. Like I'll probably analyze a couple new for 2024 coasters, hopefully before they open. um, we'll see though. And then yeah, I guess a bunch of maybe other short form content. And if this live stream goes well, I'll probably do a couple more, or a few more, whenever I see fit. So hopefully this does go well. What else? I guess that's it. So I guess now it's time for a Q&A. I'll set a timer for 15 minutes, and then let's see. After the 15-minute timer goes up, if you guys have any more questions, then save it for later because there's definitely going to be another Q&A later. With that being said, I guess we'll get into it now. So, Carrick from Coaster Hour asked, thoughts on the idea of Kentucky Kingdom getting an SNS steeplechase? I am all for it. Reason being, Kentucky Kingdom, they do have Kentucky Flyer. They just got that in 2019. And they do have Roller Skater. But besides that, they don't have too many family coasters. And if they do want to see themselves as like a very well-rounded family-oriented park, kind of in line with like the rest of the Hershey parks, then that does seem like a good fit. The steeplechase from SNS doesn't seem too expensive either. And well, they inherited the technology from Arrow. So it's sort of like reviving it back. I'm all for it. I think it's a very cool idea. It'll definitely round out their park lineup more. I know they have like 3 big coasters, but I guess like if they want to get more families in, they're probably going to have to get another family-oriented coaster. And it's definitely different enough from Kentucky Flyer. So yeah, I'm all for that. All right. Happy Human asked, what year will Hawaii get an RMC? That I cannot tell you for sure. We don't have a single park here, obviously. But if I were to actually make a guess, maybe there's a change of heart and there's actually a theme park built in Hawaii. If that's the case, maybe a Raptor in like 2040, 2045. That's my guess. It's probably not going to happen anytime soon. Yeah, that's basically it. Another question from Happy Human. They ask, do you prefer rough coasters or smooth coasters? It really depends on like, okay, for rough coasters, it depends on the extent. Like, how rough is it? Like, if it's just a little bit rough, then it's going to depend on the restraint. If it's like just a simple lap bar, that's fine. If it's an over the shoulder restraint, there might be problems because then you're going to get into head banging, which isn't the most comfortable thing. But let's see. I guess, but sometimes if like the restraints allow for it, rough coasters or roughness can give a coaster a little more personality versus like a smooth coaster. It'll feel like a little robotic, I guess you could say. I still prefer smooth coasters, more comfortable experience, but that doesn't mean rough coasters are bad. If it has just like a little rattle and the restraints are comfortable, then I'm still gonna like it. Like one of my favorite coasters ever is a wooden coaster, and of course, even if you can make like the smoothest wooden coaster out there, it's still gonna have a little bit of a rattle. Ghost Rider, that's what I was talking about, and yeah, it's one of my favorite coasters ever, and because of the tiny rattle it has just for being a wooden coaster, it gives it more personality. And that's one of the reasons why I like it very much. So yeah, that's sort of my thoughts on that. Ooh, got a lot of questions from Happy Human. Okay. When you think Falcon's Flight will open? There's a lot of, see, at first I thought the project was not going to go through it all because if you look at historically, Six Flags parks overseas were never the most, or Six Flags branded parks overseas were never the most successful. But this one is actually getting some like decent construction. I don't know how far it is at the moment, but I do know there's like significant progress on that ride as well as the park in general. But of course, Falcon's Flight is probably going to open when the park's going to open, which, while they do have a lot of coasters up, or a lot of coasters going vertical, they still need to make the rest of the park, which uh, that usually gets a lot more detailed, requires a lot more work. So it's probably, I'd say, probably not until at least late 2024 if they're like really optimistic. If not, then like 2025 or 2026. Uh, that's sort of my guess as to when it's going to open. Very insane coaster. But if it's going to open like 2024, they got to be like really fast and they might cut corners. So if they don't want to cut corners, I'd say 2025 or 2026 is probably a safe bet. Okay. Rank these countries based on coaster collection: USA, Germany, Japan, UK, China, Spain, or France. Ooh, oh boy. Uh, let's see how I can do that. Um, I'd say I'll start with last place and then move up. I'd say last place is probably. Mm, that's a hard one. Uh, for now, I'm gonna go with Spain because while they do have a couple really good coasters, like Gotham City Escape just opened, and then of course you have Port Aventura, but they don't really have much depth besides that. Uh, so that's why I'd probably say Spain is probably last, just because they don't have the quantity, but they're certainly improving in quality. Like versus a few years ago, I'd say definitely they're probably last. Um, but still, it's like they're definitely improving. Which they're right now they're probably neck and neck with the next one, which I'd say is probably the UK. The UK has a lot of depth and a lot of very historical coasters, uh, but a lot of their parks are like limited in some way. It seems like, so their new additions can be very sparse. But we all know Hyperia at Thorpe Park is opening, and that's probably going to increase their lineup, depending on how good it is. Which is probably going to get very good, or it's probably going to be very good. I'll get more into that a little later. But yeah, I'd say UK is probably there. Their coasters are very well themed, and some of them are really good, like Nemesis, Hyperia, of course, Icon, the rest of the coasters at Alton Towers, like Smiler, Wicker Man. Um, yeah, they have a decent lineup. It's just a little dated, but that's gonna change with Thorpe Park and I guess to a degree, Blackpool Pleasure Beach when they opened Icon a few years back. Um, so we got Spain, we got the UK. Let's see. I'd say next is probably going to be France. France also doesn't have too much quantity, but they have Disneyland Paris, which doesn't have the best coasters out there, but the park is most likely very well themed, as with all Disney parks, and that would carry to their coasters. And then they also have Park Asterix, which just opened up two Tatis. That ride looks insane. Uh, and of course, you got a bunch of other like occasional coasters. I forget. Rhone Alps is not in France. I gotta check on that. Wallaby Rhone Alps. Never mind, that's in France. So there you go. You got the Wallaby Rhone Alps coasters as well. Um, so uh, yeah, that's sort of France. So Spain, UK, France. I'd say the next one is, ooh, this is where it gets difficult. I'd say probably Germany. Not because their quality is not good. Like Germany's got some insane coasters and some insane parks as well. Uh, so there's no denying that. It's just that if you uh, China and the US, they just have more coasters. But that's not it's not really fair to Germany because those countries are also much larger, but I guess that's how it is. But that's not to say Germany's still probably one of the best European countries for coasters. So let's see, Spain, UK, France, Germany. I'd say second place is China. China definitely has the quantity of coasters. They're expanding very rapidly, and there's some pretty insane coasters there too. But their depth and is just like not the best. They have a lot of filler coasters, a lot of Chinese knockoffs. Um, Probably not the best quality of coasters, but some parks do occasionally get the an American or European coaster, and so those coasters are like top notch. But then you have the rest of them, which are probably average at best. Um, and so number one, obviously, that would lead to U.S. U.S. just has like, of course, the U.S. has a lot of depth too, and the depth may not be as good quality as some of the previous ones I said, but their top coaster lineup is like it's gonna be very hard to beat that. So sorry, I probably took very long on that question, but yeah, that's sort of my ranking. Okay. Would you rather ride every coaster in Iraq or North Korea? Mm, I'd oh gosh. Uh I don't know many coasters in Iraq, but oh my gosh. I guess if I could just ride the one North Korean coaster and then get out of there, that'll be probably what I'd do. Assuming I could get out of there. Okay. Uh, Top three bucket list wooden coasters. So I have ridden a decent bit of wooden coasters compared to like 3 years ago. But I still wouldn't. I still only have one I've ridden where I would consider like top tier. So I'd say for bucket list wooden coasters, hmm, I'll start with number one. Number one's gonna have to be the Voyage. There's just such there's just so many great reviews on the coaster that it's hard not to put on my bucket list. So Voyage is definitely number one. As for number two, I'd probably still give that to El Toro because El Toro is probably one of the most intense wooden coasters still out there. So I'd probably go with that for number two. For number three, that's a little more of a toss up. Oh wait, it's probably either Wood Coaster or Wildfire. I'm probably gonna go with Wildfire because at Colmartin specifically because the setting on that is one of the best out there. It's hard to beat that setting, and plus the layout is probably very good as well. And rock work. Okay, Carrick said there are Poke Parks popping up or being planned. Pokemon themed parks, that would probably be sick. I wasn't too big of a Pokemon fan, but I can imagine like a Pokemon theme park is going to be very popular. And I noticed that like if a theme park wants to survive, they're probably gonna need to get some IPs. So that's a very good IP to get, which and it hasn't been used before. So awesome. All right, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Oh gosh, I I think I saw a video answering this question once, and I forget the real answer. I'm gonna say the egg. All right, give us three reasons why the Beast is the world's most overrated coaster. I actually think the Beast is a very, or it looks like a very great ride. If I were to give three reasons, it still has dated wooden coaster trains. I forget if they're PTC or not. They're probably PTC. Which those trains are all right, but if you got like Timberliners and Millennium Flyers out there, and Gravity Group has done some work on it, then why not? Well, I guess if the modern wooden coaster trains are also lighter, so if it can't complete the layout because of it, that probably is a very good reason not to get it. But I don't know that, so I'm gonna say dated wind coaster trains. The layout doesn't have too many exciting elements, but it's gotta sprawl out. That's the whole point of the ride, is you go very far out from the park. Number three, it's probably rough in some sections. I would assume Gravity Group hasn't retracked the entire ride, although please correct me if I'm wrong. Um, but I'm pretty sure not the entire ride isn't retracked, so rough patches. Okay, that's my three reasons. Let's see. For the regions they're based on, Hawaii. Oh, the timer's up. Okay, so if you guys have any more questions, save it. Feel free to write it down somewhere. There's definitely gonna be a Q&A later on. I'll just answer the remaining ones left, and then we'll move on to the next segment. Anyway, for the regions they're based on, Hawaii is one of the regions they base an area on, so maybe a theme park gets made that way. Yeah. Yeah, Pokemon theme park would probably do well in Hawaii, not gonna lie. We have a lot of Asian tourism, um, and just tourism in general. So I think a Pokemon themed theme park would be something like uh, anyone from like across the world would want to go to. So yeah, rank the seasons. uh, Autumn number one, summer number two. Uh, spring oh gosh. I don't know what to decide between the other two. Actually, I don't know if I would put summer that high. I'd say, oh gosh, I like all seasons for different reasons. But autumn's definitely for number one. I'm not gonna debate that. uh, so autumn number one. Um, I'd say summer number two. Uh, spring number three, winter number four, but spring and winter are very close. Winter's cool because the snow, but there's also some really cold days and some days where the wind just pierces my neck. Um, spring is very nice to look at, of course, but spring is also the allergy season, so that's why it's not ranked too high. Summer, probably not everyone's favorite season. I'm used to it because I grew up in Hawaii, I guess, where every time is basically summer. And then autumn, of course, because autumn is the best season. Who has a fresher trim? You, Coaster Studios, or Coaster Hour? Carrick has some pretty fresh trims, so I'd say Carrick. um, what do you think Six Flags Magic Mountain's what do you think Six Flags Magic Mountain's next coaster will be? I hope it's an SNS Axis. Uh, that's a hard one because Magic Mountain's lineup is very well rounded. There's not too many gaps they can fill in. If I were to give one, I guess they don't have too many modern family coasters. A lot of their family coasters are older, like Gold Rush, one of the first Aero Mine Trains. Ninja is an Aero Suspended, although that coaster is great. Don't do anything to Ninja, please. But whatchamacallit. But if they were to get a modern family coaster, that would be nice. But in terms of thrill coasters, I do agree an SNS Axis would be a very cool coaster there. They already have X2 though. So while the Axis is a different rotation, it's still technically a 4D coaster. So I don't know if they would go that route. Besides that, they don't really have like a dive coaster like thing. So something like a B&M dive coaster, hopefully one with a higher capacity than oh my gosh, what is the coaster's name? I'm blanking on it. Dr. Diabolical's Cliffhanger, yes. So maybe that. Or they could go with like a tilt coaster or an infinity coaster. Some sort of dive coaster would be great at Magic Mountain because they currently don't have any coaster like that. So either an Axis, a dive coaster, or a modern family coaster is, I'd say, what they should do next. I have a challenge for you. Can you name all 4 countries beginning with the letter V? I probably can't. I can certainly try, though. Venezuela is the first one that comes to mind. Oh gosh. Why can't I think of it? Vietnam, that's another one. Oh gosh, Venezuela, Vietnam. There's got to be one in Europe, right? Oh gosh. I named 2 out of 4. That's 50%. That's still an F. Oh gosh. There's probably also one in Africa, I would guess. Europe. Okay, the answer to this question is no, I can't. Welcome to the stream, Charge on PC. I'm glad you could make it. This is just I should probably put a banner up. We're finishing up the first Q&A. If you have any questions, save it. There's going to be a Q&A coming up later on. Let's see. Wow, you guys are doing better because of the stream. I am so glad. Thank you so much. Oh yeah. Carrick makes a good point. Summer is the coaster season, so that's why it's ranked number 2. Thanks for justifying that. Let's see. I, for some reason, didn't think of that. Coasters, of course, they're gonna run the best in the summer. Okay. All right. Oh, Vanuatu and Vatican City. I couldn't think of those off the top of my head. So, GG. Yeah. Okay. That looks like the end of the first Q&A. So, I'm going to do a quick banner change. And let's see if I can make this work. I'm going to try so I'll present. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to get to that. I'm going to put this in. Can I put it in presentation mode, please? Thank you. Okay. And then I'm going to. Do you guys like this view, or would you rather the picture-in-picture? I like to show my face. Of course, we can also do a blank screen or just the tier list. I'll do. I'll do this one for now because we got to see the tiers. So, this is the tier list. This is of notable new for 2024 coasters. In order to be on here, besides me not forgetting about it, the coaster has to be pretty likely to open in 2024, and there has to be an adequate amount of information about this coaster. So I've decided to include Coda Land's upcoming major coasters as well as Mattel Adventure Park's coasters, because construction seems to be going along pretty well. They aren't massive parks, so they're like more likely to open. But there's a pretty strong chance they might not open this year. I decided not to include Six Flags Qiddiya's coasters because that park is on a much larger scale than the other 2 parks I've just discussed. And whatchamacall. And while the coasters, like I said earlier, the coasters have pretty significant progress on them, but the rest of the park has to be made, and that's probably going to take a while. So I am not expecting Six Flags Qiddiya to open up in 2024. So that's why I'm not including those coasters. Of course, everyone's tier list is going to be different. The tiers are Stoked, which is like the coasters I'm most hyped about for this year. Pretty good. Those are like the runner-ups. um, intriguing. These are like coasters where I'm not like super excited for, but I'm very interested to see how they're gonna go down, how successful they are, how reliable, how good of a coaster it is. Uh, there's the cool category where it's like not excited for them, but probably a great fit for the park. Um, and yeah, it's just like overall good additions. And then there's which ideally there should be no coasters in the last tier. So that's how that's gonna work. Um, the face on the side is better. Okay, I'll leave it like this then. Um, okay. So anything else? Did I miss anything? I had these notes written down. Um, uh, okay, that should be everything. Moving on to the tier list. So this is my first tier list I've ever made on this. So probably, so we'll see how it goes. Um, so, uh, okay. First one up is All American Triple Loop. So this is, uh, so this is a relocation of Chimera, which was a coaster that once operated in Mexico. It is a Schwarzkopf triple loop coaster, kind of meant to be a portable coaster, but it's permanent. Think something along the lines of Olympia Looping or Mindbender at Galaxyland, something like that. Apparently, this coaster was very intense at its previous park, so hopefully that gets retained and the restraints are the same. I believe it had lap bars when it was Chimera, um, so hopefully it sticks to that. If not, I mean, I guess that's pretty understandable. Considering the coaster did get relocated because it had an accident at Southern Park, um, I believe the cause was mostly due to like malpractice when it comes to maintenance. Like they probably cut some corners with that. So assuming this is an American park, they're gonna do a probably gonna do a better job in keeping the coaster good. Um, anyway, All American Triple Loop. I'm gonna put that in intriguing. It's a relocation, so it's not a new coaster, but I'm very interested to see how it turns out in its American counterpart. It's getting delayed, so hopefully that means they're working out all of the kinks so that when it does open, it doesn't have too many issues. Hopefully that's the case. We'll see how that goes. Um, all right, next coaster is Bobcat. This is this is a Gravity Group family wooden coaster coming to Six Flags or just Great Escape, a Six Flags park. So this is gonna be Great Escape's first coaster in like a really long time, and first new coaster in like an even longer time as well. So this is going to be a great addition for the park. It's more of a family park, so it makes sense that it's going to be family oriented. And if you've ever ridden a Gravity Group family coaster before, you'll probably know they're like really fun rides. I personally haven't, so I can't say for sure my thoughts on them, but uh, they they got like nothing but positive reviews from other enthusiasts. So I'm gonna put that in the pretty good tier. It seems it's a very good addition for the park, and I'm sure it's gonna get them. It's gonna probably be a very good success for them. Custom layout too, I believe, or it's like a modified version of Timber at Rhone Alps. Um, yeah. Also, I apologize if you hear any yard work. I can't do anything about it. I guess I could shut this window there, but then I'm gonna get a little hot in here, and because like Hawaii, it's never gonna get cold. Anyway, hopefully that's not too much of a problem. Um, let's see. Okay, so the next coaster is going to be Bone Shaker. This is one of the coasters opening up at Mattel Adventure Park. Um, it's a Chance Rides family coaster. We don't know too much about this layout, but I do know another coaster of this similar style that has opened up, and that is Nickelodeon Slime Streak at the new American Dream Mall, Nickelodeon theme park. Um, and what I've heard about that coaster is the layout is fine, but the trains and the restraints are a little cramped. So probably not good for taller or for bigger people, I suppose. But the layout still looks pretty fun, and I'm sure Bone Shaker's gonna be this. I'm pretty sure Bone Shaker's gonna be pretty similar to that ride. So with that being said, I'm gonna put in the cool category. It's probably gonna be a good addition for the park. Uh, just like probably not. I'd say there are still some better family coaster models, but if they got like a deal with Chance Rides for 2 rides, that would make perfect sense. Um, Anyway, the next coaster on here, I believe this is Choco Chip Creek. This is a Vekoma mine train coming to Energylandia. Uh, we didn't hear much about this ride. I don't know if it was supposed to open last year in 2023, but according to RCTV, there's like a set opening date, which is in 2024. So I'm pretty sure they're going to stick to it. It's Energylandia. This is the park that opened Zadra a year before it's supposed to open. So I'm pretty sure Chocolate Chip Creek is going to open. As for a ranking, I'm probably going to put it in. I do think it's intriguing how there's like this is like the first Vekoma mine train in a while. Uh, of course, this mine train is not going to be themed to the levels of the Disney mine trains, but it still looks like a really fun ride. I'd still probably put that in the cool category. If it had more theming, I'd probably put it in the intriguing category. And it looks like we're probably on our first stoked coaster, or the first coaster I'm going to put on the highest tier. This is going to be Circuit Breaker. This is one of the coasters at Codaland, and this is going to be America's first tilt coaster from Vekoma. And this is going to be the first tilt coaster Vekoma has made since Gravity Max, which is the only one out there. And since then, Vekoma's got new track, new designers, and so new layouts and new trains. It looks like it's going to be a very good ride. Probably better than B&M dive coasters, and maybe most Infinity coasters. So Circuit Breaker, I'm very intrigued to see what it's going to be like when it opens. I'm putting that in the stoked category. I am very excited for that ride to open. All right, moving on to the next coaster. Okay, so this next coaster is the SNS Access. Oh my gosh, the SNS Air Launch Coaster that's going to be opening up at Window of the World in China. We've known about this coaster for quite a while, but a layout hasn't been released until pretty recently. The reason why this is intriguing is because, well, it's designed by Joe Draves, and of course, he's the one that also did like Max Force, another air launch coaster, and of course a bunch of other coasters from SNS and RMC. Make some great layouts. And unlike Max Force, this coaster doesn't look to be short. So this seems like a very good ride. It's unfortunate it's in China, but all right, because China's so far. But I'm sure it's going to be a very good ride, so I'm going to put in the very good category. As for new Vekoma being overrated, I do think they sort of like. I don't think they're overrated yet, but I do feel like a lot of their concepts are like. I feel like Lek Coaster set the bar so high and formula that like when Vekoma came out with their next models, which were like a little more dialed back, maybe not as intense, then people sort of got disappointed with them. But of course, like if a coaster is less intense, it's probably going to appeal more to the general public. So, that's my theory as to why one would say new Vekoma is overrated. I still think that Vekoma's got like the biggest comeback out of any manufacturer in this industry. So that's why I don't think they're completely overrated. And speaking of new Vekoma, we have another one coming up. This is Flash Vertical Velocity at Six Flags Great Adventure. This is Vekoma. this is America's first Vekoma Super Boomerang, which is sort of like their next generation regular boomerang layout. They've made a lot of family boomerang layouts recently, but this is their first boomerang coaster in this new generation of Vekoma. So looks like a pretty good layout. Looks to have some decent hang time, maybe some whip and some air time. Probably going to focus on the hang time though. Those launches don't look too forceful, but I'm pretty sure the spikes are going to be very fun. And it's also America's first new Vekoma thrill coaster. So for that reason, this is also going in the stoked category. I'm very intrigued to see what this ride's going to be like when it opens at Great Adventure. And it's most likely going to open before Circuit Breaker 2. So I'm pretty sure it's going to claim the title of America's first new gen. Oh gosh, this is very specific. America's first new generation Vekoma thrill coaster. Yeah, I haven't ridden a new generation Vekoma coaster yet. They're not too widespread yet, but the layouts just look so smooth. That's probably like smooth. They look so smooth. It's probably because they accentuate their heart lining so much, something like that. And yeah, super fluid. You're right about that. Okay. I'm hoping I get to ride Flash later this year. Yeah, hopefully you get to ride Flash later this year. It'll be interesting to see how the reception to that ride is as well. Because if this is Vekoma's next boomerang, it's most likely going to pop up in a lot of places. So it better be good. Let's see what y'all have to say so far. Interesting. Let's be honest, Energylandia does not need another family coaster. I'll correct you there, or not correct you. I'll slightly change it a little. Energylandia does not need another kiddie coaster. They have more than enough kiddie coasters. Family coasters, they could use a little more, but even still, yeah, I would say Energylandia doesn't really need any more family coasters after Chocolate Chip Creek opens. Plus, they have like 2 Vekoma family boomerangs already. Okay, now I think about it, yeah, they probably don't need another family coaster. Most of them don't look intense apart from Luck Coaster, more family throw than extreme. I guess I could see that. I find it so weird how like a decent amount of people rank Formula at Energylandia over Abyssus. That's probably because like I know I've heard they dialed back a little on Abyssus, but I mean that still looks like Abyssus still looks like a fun ride. I'm not sure how I would rank it if I were to ever go to Energylandia. What else? Oh yeah, Energylandia is also getting a new kiddie coaster in the area. Yeah, they do love their kiddie coasters apparently. Okay, next coaster. Oh gosh, I think I forgot the name of this because there's no logo for it. Let me find it real quick. I'm pretty sure it's not like too far down. Oh wait. Oh my gosh. If you guys get the name for this, oh wait, it's the mine train coming to Dream World. Maybe if I search Dream World, I might find it. Oh, is this sharing RCTV? Oh wait, no, it's just sharing the tier maker tab. Oh, I correct myself. Oh, is this it? Okay, I think this is it. Okay, this is Jungle Rush. Okay, so this is Jungle Rush. This is the Vekoma Mine Train coming to Dream World. This is from the concept art. It looks pretty well themed. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be I'm sure it's going to be a very fun family coaster. We don't know much about this coaster, so for now, I'm going to put it in the cool category. It's for sure going to be a great addition. It's probably going to be a great family coaster. If I know more about it, I'll probably put in the intriguing category. All right, next up, this does not have a name yet. This next coaster is the Vekoma STC coming to Emerald Park in Ireland. So we've known about this coaster for like a couple years now, I believe. This has a different layout from Hallzuberkopf at Tripstra, which was the first STC. And this is and if you don't know what an STC is, this is Vekoma's new generation SLC. So they got the new generation Vekoma treatment all these other coasters are getting. So smoother ride, probably more intense as well. Or actually, I don't know about more intense, more airtime, that's for sure. Because I know Hallzuberkopf has a decent amount of airtime. And I know Hallzuberkopf also has lap bars, so also a plus. So it'll be interesting to see how this different layout goes. It seems a little more intense than Hallzuberkopf. I bet they probably wanted to play it safe for their first STC. So now that we have this one, I'll be intrigued to see how that's going to go. So this STC is going in the pretty good tier. We don't have a name for it yet. All we know is it's going to be different from Hallzuberkopf, and it's also going to be another STC family boomerang dueling coaster thing, kind of like, of course, what Tripstra has. So overall, very intrigued about how that coaster is going to turn out. Let's see. Okay. If Jungle Rush didn't, I guess, okay, yeah, late 2024 opening seems pretty probable for Jungle Rush, considering most Australian coasters open up late in the year. What is this? Oh, this is Fire in the Hole. So this is going to be like a really huge refurbishment of Silver Dollar City's Fire in the Hole dark ride coaster hybrid thing. I guess it's hybrid in different ways because it's going to be using RMC's, I believe, iBox track, and I guess trains as well. So I'm going to put this in the intriguing category. Very interesting to see RMC doing something totally different from what they used to do, or from what they usually do. I don't think RMC has ever made a family coaster up to this point. They have released the Wild Moose concept, but no park has got it yet. It's also a relatively new concept, so that makes sense. Maybe RMC uses those trains, though, for this one. I'm not sure how that's going to go, but Silver Dollar City is putting a lot of money into this, so I'm sure it's going to be a very good ride. So that's why I'm putting it there. All right, next up, this is going to be Good Gravy. I'm going to put this in the intriguing category. So depending on which one of the two family boomerangs open up in the US first, I believe I also have the other one on here somewhere. Do I not have it on here? Oh, wait, I do. Okay. The other one's coming up. But Good Gravy seems like such a unique theme. And depending on which one's going to open, these are going to be the first two Vekoma family boomerangs to open up in the US. So it'll be interesting to see how these two turn out. It's a very good fit for Holiday World, and I'm sure it's going to do great for them. Oh, they did reveal that. Oh, they probably did. I probably put that under the radar for whatever reason. Oh, so they're different from the Wild Moose trains. Interesting. That would make sense. They'd probably make a custom train because Fire in the Hole is such a different ride from anything RMC ever made before. So makes perfect sense. Let's see. Okay, so that is that's Good Gravy. It's a family boomerang. There's not much else to say except for that. I believe it is a custom layout too. So that's also a plus. So good job, Holiday World. This is probably going to be a great addition. All right. Next up is one of my most anticipated 2024 coasters. This is Hyperia at Thorpe Park, and I'm automatically going to put in the stoked category. So if you haven't, so I've made a video already about why I think mock hypers are like the best hypers a park could get in this current market. To get a brief recap, I think it's because mock hypers are they have that sweet spot where they're not too intense like an Intamin Mega, so general public will ride it more, but it's also not super bland or cookie cutter like a B&M hyper. Um, so enthusiasts are going to enjoy these as well. I feel like it's probably going to please like a lot of people. And plus, Hyperia is such a different layout compared to normal hyper coasters. It's not going to be the longest ride in the world, but some of the elements it's going to pack is going to be insane. And I'm very interested to see how this ride turns out. I'm sure it's going to be a big success for Thorpe Park. And plus, I believe it's I don't think Thorpe Park has gotten a new coaster in quite a while, so that's great for Thorpe Park. Good for them. And yeah, Hyperia is probably going to be one of the best coasters coming next year. Whoops. Okay. Yeah, really the only potential issue with Hyperia is that's going to feel short. Depending on how hard those elements hit, it might be like a good length. We'll see. Um, all right. Next up is Iron Menace at Thorpe Park, and I'm going to put this in the pretty good category. So Iron Menace is a B&M dive coaster. It uses the 6 across trains instead of the 8 across, so it's a mini dive coaster sort of. This is going to be the second dive coaster to feature a beyond vertical drop. First one being, of course, Dr. Diabolical's Cliffhanger, and it's going to be the first major coaster at Dorney Park in like a really long time. I believe since Hydra, the Revenge. So I think it's a good fit for Dorney Park. I know they already have a floorless coaster, but dive coasters get the crowds, and I think that's what Dorney needs right now is a fresh new ride to get more revenue. And I think a dive coaster is perfect for that. So I believe it's a great fit for Dorney. The layout does seem a little short too, but at least it looks like it keeps its pace pretty well. That's one thing I know with the smaller dive coasters is they tend to keep their pace much better than the bigger ones. The bigger ones also have more drag, and they have longer layouts, so we'll be a little more sluggish on those final few elements on the bigger ones. But yeah, yeah, they could have got a better option. I think something like Hang Time would also be a great fit at Dorney, but I don't know. I don't know how successful Hang Time was for Knott's Berry Farm. I think Cedar Fair just loves their B&Ms. It's a very safe edition, and I think that's kind of what Dorney needs right now if they want to get crowds in again. So that's Iron Menace. Overall, good fit for the park. All right, next up is Mahuka at, oh gosh, it's a Wally Park. Why am I forgetting this? Oh, Roan Alps. So Wallaby Roan Alps Mahuka. This is going to be, I'm going to put this in the stoked category. This is going to be Intamin's second hot racer, which is sort of like their competitor, their single wheel competitor to like the RMC Raptor. Intamin hot racers, they sit a little higher than RMC Raptors. They feature launches, tire-driven launches, to be precise, instead of lift hills, and they tend to not be as intense as RMC Raptors. The first one was Big Dipper, opened up at Luna Park in Sydney. It was, from what I heard, the what was it? Big Dipper had a rattle issue, so I'm hoping that gets sorted out for Mahuka. And of course, these layouts don't look the most intense. We don't have a POV yet for Mahuka. We just have concept art, I believe. But some of these elements look pretty interesting on it too. And plus, I believe it's Hawaii themed as well, or something along the lines. So overall, very interesting addition. I am excited to see when it opens. Um, oh, since Stinger, but that one closed. Oh yeah, I did forget about Stinger. And Stinger was also a relocation, I believe, as well. Yeah, it was a relocation. So even still, Dorney's first new coaster was like a really long time ago. um, I wouldn't say a really long time ago, but you know what I mean. Anyway, Mahuka seems like a great addition for Rhone Alps. And hopefully Intamin works out the kinks because Big Dipper was a prototype, so we can't fault them too much. They have to work out a few things, but hopefully Mahuka is better. Uh, all right, let's see. The next one up is this is Palindrome. This is the first coaster announced for Coda Land, but it still hasn't opened yet. I wonder if both Circuit Breaker and Palindrome are going to open at the same time, or they're going to open up Palindrome first. I'm not entirely sure what's going on there, but this is Palindrome. I'm going to put it in the pretty good category. This is a Gerstlauer Infinity coaster, more on the smaller side. Um, I do wish the drop was beyond vertical because it does have a vertical lift, but whatever. It has a zero G stall, a wave turn thing, and a really weird spike as well, and I believe a barrel roll as well, or zero G roll. It looks like a really fun ride. Hopefully, doesn't have a Gerstlauer rattle, but we can only find out once it opens. It looks like a really cool ride. I'm sure it's going to be a great fit for the park as well. Really cool 1-2 punch with Palindrome and Circuit Breaker. It's a very unconventional 1-2 punch, but I think it's going to do them good. So yeah, that's why I put Palindrome in the pretty good category. It's nothing amazing. It's not like the biggest infinity coaster in the world. It's still going to have a switch track or it's still going to have a backwards section, which that's going to be pretty cool. But Circuit Breaker definitely is the more intriguing ride. So that's how I rank the two Coda Land coasters. All right. Next one is Penguin Trek at SeaWorld Orlando. I'm going to put this one in the intriguing category. So a POV was released, I believe. A train was released at IAPA. This is going to be B&M's first family launch coaster, which we haven't really seen B&M do anything like this before. So it's going to be very interesting how that ride turns out. I guess like Icebreaker was supposed to fill this void, but Icebreaker ended up being a little more thrilling than they anticipated, I'm assuming. So that's why they do this. But yeah, I'm sure because it's a B&M, it's going to be silky smooth, which is what a family coaster should be. The launch is, I don't know, but it still looks like a really fun layout, and maybe they have some theming to go along with it as well. Of course, it's a family coaster, so nothing too amazing, but still seems like a very interesting ride. We'll see how B&M pulls off a family coaster, because when I think of a B&M family coaster, I think they're probably just over-engineered. But I'm sure it's going to be a success for the park. I know SeaWorld loves their B&Ms, so as well as Cedar Fair. So it makes sense. A ride like Manta, a mock family launch coaster would also be good, but who knows? Maybe the B&M was cheaper. We'll see. Anyway, that's Penguin Trek. And wait, let me get a little water break. All right. Speaking of B&M family coasters, the next one up is America's first B&M family invert. This is Phoenix Rising, and it's going to Busch Gardens, Tampa. I'm also going to put this in the intriguing category. So in terms of family inverts, we do have the Vacomas. They're the most popular. The Vacomas weren't good initially because they had over-the-shoulder restraints. They were rougher. People like to call them hang and bangs, but they improved. They got lap bars. They're smoother. overall, they look very enjoyable. You do have one SNS family invert. I wonder why none have been built since. but now, but then we also have B&M. B&M made two family inverts before. They were all in China. Um, the layout looks very similar to the Vekoma version. But those just look silky smooth. So I'm sure Phoenix Rising is going to be the same. It, I guess it makes sense that they're going with B&M because in this instance, not too far away is Freedom Flyer. That's a Vekoma family invert at Fun Spot, Orlando. So that might be why they go with B&M, or I guess it's another like SeaWorld just loves B&M kind of thing. It'll be interesting to see B&M's take on a family invert. I know probably not a lot of American enthusiasts went out to ride the two in China, so this is America's first real taste, or a lot of people's first real taste of B&M making family coasters, and especially with Penguin Trek as well. So overall, very intriguing coaster. We'll see how that turns out. Overall, I think it's a good fit for Busch Gardens Tampa. I know they have Montu, but this will be like a family version of it. It's like, hey, if Montu's too short, you can ride a coaster that looks very similar, but is way less intense. I guess that's the theory they went behind it, because I believe it has like a near identical color scheme to Montu. Anyway, I know I mentioned Good Gravy before. Now we're moving on to the other family boomerang. That's opening up in America. So this is Snoopy's Soapbox. Oh my gosh, Snoopy's Soapbox Racers, and it's coming to Kings Island. So this is going to be Kings Island's first coaster since Orion. Makes sense. Orion's such a very thrilling coaster. They need to round out the park because Kings Island's one of the most well-rounded parks in the world, and plus they can also reclaim the title of best kids area. So I'm gonna put Snoopy's Soapbox Racers in the cool category. It's gonna be pretty well themed from what it looks like. But I believe it's a standard layout. So that's why I didn't put it in the intriguing category. Plus, it's Cedar Fair. I feel like the Holiday World one is a little more unique and special. Whereas Soapbox Racers, I'm sure it's still going to be a great family coaster, just doesn't have the extra spice, like Good Gravy has. You might actually go to Kings Island in 2024. That's cool. Hopefully, Soapbox Racers will be open for you. All right. So next one up, this is Thunderbolt. So Thunderbolt is the name of this it was originally an Intamin accelerator called Senza Fiato, located in Europe. I forget which country. But it's in oh gosh, I forget the park as well. But is getting relocated to Peony Playland in Canada. If you don't know, that's the park that has Coaster, a ride that once had insane airtime, but got some restricting seatbelts. Anyway, so this was once an Intamin hydraulic launch coaster from Europe. It got relocated to Canada and is also getting renovated by Zamperla. So they're going to do a similar treatment to this ride as they're doing to the next one up, actually, or the next coaster. They're going to replace the hydraulic launch with LSMs, and they're going to improve or replace the trains. So hopefully that means Thunderbolt runs more reliably than it probably did as Senza Fiato, because obviously LSMs are much more reliable than hydraulic launch coasters. So hopefully that's a success for them, because PME Playland, they got a really good, they have a pretty interesting coaster lineup, and plus there's not really too many theme parks in Western Canada. So, as for a tier, Um, it's one of these two. I know that for sure. It's probably. Mm, I'm probably gonna go with pretty good. I think it's definitely a great addition for the park. It's probably gonna be a really fun ride too. Uh, I'm very interested to see how this renovation goes for them. Maybe how the let's see how the reliability goes. And I guess those questions also apply to another coaster on here. Um, oh gosh, this is definitely a hot one for next year. So this next one is Top Thrill 2, coming to Cedar Point next, or I guess this year. um, so for those of you who don't know, uh, one of Cedar Point's marquee attractions was Top Thrill Dragster. Was a 400-foot tall intimate accelerator, uh, basically the precursor to the world's tallest current coaster, King Ka. Um, and it was apparently the better one of the two because it had lap bars and a smoother ride. Top Thrill Dragster was notoriously known for being one of the most unreliable coasters out there, probably because of its hydraulic launch. Those things got a bunch of sensors, so if a single sensor goes wrong, the ride's gonna break down, which is, I guess, a safety thing. So these are like the launches are supposed to be super safe because it's got to run in tip top shape, or else it's going to be down. Uh, but there was an accident on this ride. I believe either a couple years ago. So in order to uh, get a better PR, Cedar Point decided to, and plus because of all of the unreliability issues, Cedar Point decided to close down Top Thrill Dragster and basically give it a similar treatment to Thunderbolt, which was basically remove the hydraulic launch, replace it with LSMs, so that they would hopefully make the ride more reliable. But as you know, LSMs, or as you probably know, LSMs aren't as forceful as hydraulic launches. So if they just had the LSM launch, it's not going to make it up the top hat. So they decided to make it turn into a swing launch and add a spike to it as well. Um, so I know it's a very controversial remodel. I know a lot of people are going to miss the hydraulic launch. I know if I wrote it, I'd probably miss the hydraulic launch too. Um, but if this is going to make the ride more reliable and make it more thrilling as well, because think about it, this is a huge spike they're going to put on it. Because of those reasons, and maybe some others, I'm going to put Top Thrill 2 in the stoked category. I know not everyone's going to be excited for this ride. I can understand that. Personally, I've never ridden Top Thrill Dragster, so I don't have like the sort of nostalgia for that ride like others may do. Um, of course, regular dragster with the hydraulic launch is going to be probably better. But renovation means if this renovation means Top Thrill Dragster is going to be more reliable, and if that spike's going to be like super thrilling as well, like they're adding an entire new element and therefore increasing the ride duration too. Um, I think it's if it goes well, I think it's going to be a pretty big success for Cedar Point. So I'm very intrigued to see how this ride turns out. So that's why I have Top Thrill 2 in the stoked category. Plus, it's a 400-foot tall coaster. There's not too many of those. I think the wind might be more noticeable than the launch itself. I guess that's true. Because like I've ridden one coaster that goes over 100 miles per hour, and yeah, you definitely feel the wind there. It's very incredible. That was Superman Escape from Krypton, by the way. I rode it forward, not backward. So yeah. Okay, that was Top Thrill 2. We have 4 more left. I guess since we're nearing the end of this, I guess I'll say I probably didn't include. I probably forgot a few coasters that are like pretty notable for 2024. So if you have any coaster in your mind opening next year, that you would be curious to see how it would rank on the tier list, feel free to ask about it in the chat. Um, I believe I got most of the major ones, but I'm sure there's like a couple others I forgot. Um, so if you want to know where other 2024 coasters rank, as long as they're pretty notable, um, I'll do that as well. Anyway, next one up is Hot Wheels Twin Mill Racer. This is going to be, and I'm going to put this ride in the pretty, wait, actually, I'm going to put in the intriguing category. It's not that it's going to be, it's not that it's not going to be as good as the coasters in the pretty good category. We don't know too much about this coaster right now. All we know is it's going to be, well, first of all, it's at Mattel Adventure Park, so it might not even open in 2024. But this is going to be the second chance Hyper GTX ever made. The first one was Lightning Run at Kentucky Kingdom. It's a ride that's very airtime focused, pretty intense, and very smooth from what I heard as well. Think of it like a steel version of an RMC hybrid. That's how I like to think of this coaster, or Lightning Run at least. From what I'm hearing, Twin Mill Racer seems to have a pretty different layout from Lightning Run. This coaster is going to have inversions, first of all. Lightning Run doesn't. It's probably going to focus more on those inversions and not have as much airtime on them. I'm sure it's going to be a smooth ride because I heard Lightning Run is very smooth as well. Hopefully the restraints are good as well. I think Lightning Run also has like RMC style restraints. So it's literally a steel RMC. But yeah, overall Twin Mill Racer, I didn't put in a higher tier because we don't know much about it, but I'm still very intrigued for what this ride is like. I believe a train is released as well, so I'll have to relook at that at a later date. Look at that train. All right. Okay. So the next one up is another unknown coaster. This is going to be an Intamin Ultra Surf. It's going to be coming to Six Flags Over Georgia next year, or I guess this year. I'm going to put this in. What should I put it in? I'll put in the intriguing category. Because America doesn't really have a coaster like this besides Aquaman Power Wave, and that's a mock Power Splash. This is Intamin's sort of take on it. So very, very interesting looking ride. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully, it's reliable. Yeah, overall, looks like a pretty fun ride. Probably not one you should do when it's cold outside, but in the summer, it's probably going to be a very popular ride. Let me look at the chats real quick. Oh, okay, I'll get to that coaster. Let's see. Okay, Carrick, I'll get to that coaster. Okay, the next one is Vinfald. Oh gosh. Let me refresh myself. Oh wait. I don't know if it's called that. Oh there. Okay. This is Vinfald at Tivoli. I don't know if I want to try pronounce the second word, but it's a Tivoli park in Denmark. That's not Tivoli Gardens. Yeah. So this is going to be a Gerstlauer Eurofighter. I believe it has a custom, or does it have a custom layout? It might not have a custom. Wait, I can look at this. It is a custom layout. Yes. But it looks pretty similar to Hydrus at a Casino Pier, which Hydrus got great reviews. I'm not sure if a train is released for Vinfald yet. I don't remember seeing one, but hopefully the train on that has lap bars. We'll see though. But yeah, overall, Eurofighters, they may not seem like the most exciting rides, but they're still probably going to be great rides for their parks. That's why I'm going to put Vinfold in the cool category. Um, and now we go on to our final coaster on this list. And this is probably one of my most, if not my most anticipated coaster next year. It's one that kind of flew under the radar a little bit because like we got a lot of info about it at the start and then just nothing else about it. And now the sirens for and now the test sirens are going off. Whatever. Okay. Without further ado, this is Voltron. This is gonna be Mach's first striker coaster, and it's coming to Europa Park. So first major coaster at Europa Park in I believe quite a while. Um, basically, I kind of need to refresh myself on the layout a little, but from what I remember, Voltron has um, one of the best layouts I've seen for like a looping launch coaster in quite a while. I believe it has stuff like some crazy inversions, some decent airtime moments, backwards sections, some sort of switch track or turntable, lap bars, or cross seating. It's going to be a pretty insane ride. And I believe construction's going pretty progressively on that ride. So obviously, Voltron's going in the stoked category. I know Mach can make some good layouts if a park wants to. Just look at Ride to Happiness, and DC Rivals, and Helix too. And I do believe Voltron is one of those as well. So yeah, Voltron is definitely one of my most anticipated ones. Um, yeah, Voltron just looks like a really good ride. Well, it would be interesting to see if Mach even like increases the forces on its launches. I heard Blue Fire at the same park uh, has like a pretty forceful launch relative to Mach coasters, but maybe they even make it more forceful for Voltron. That might just be wishful thinking. We'll see how it is when the POV is released. But yeah, Voltron, it's a very good layout. That's probably the most I could say about it because we don't know too much about it still, besides like a POV. I believe the trains are similar to Big Dipper trains, just 4 rows instead of 2, something like that. But yeah, that is Voltron, and that is the tier list. We don't have a single coaster in the category, so that's nice. You heard Ride to Happiness had a decent launch. I also heard that too. So it'll be interesting to see if it feels any different if you put that exact launch on a sit down coaster. Um, maybe it will actually turn out to be more forceful, which in that case, awesome. Hopefully that doesn't compromise on reliability because usually the more forceful launches, the less reliable it is. Hopefully that's not the case though. All right, that is tier list. Let's see if there's any other ones you guys want me to rank. I know there's one. Finfold has a custom layout. Yeah. Okay. All right, we do have one. So, you want to know where Snoopy's Tender Paw Twister at Knott's Berry Farm ranks? Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Knott's is getting a new kitty coaster. This is a zero lift and launch kitty coaster. So basically, it's got a lift hill and it also has like a tire launch in the middle of the layout. And I believe it has a couple of helices as well. If you want a point of comparison, this has the same layout as Daddy Pig's roller coaster at Peppa Pig theme park. Um, but yeah, this is replacing Timberline Twister, which was the K coaster they had before. I never got to ride that one when I went to Knott's, so oh well. This is probably a better kitty coaster anyway. uh, so this is a great I think this is a great addition to Knott's. I know they have a few family coasters already, but it's a great like first starter coaster. And if Daddy Pig's roller coaster is anything to say, it's probably going to be a decent coaster as well. Oh, it's a Zamperla. Whoops. Wait. Oh yeah, it is a Zamperla. Oh my gosh. I guess the track just looked like a zero track to me, or like a zero force track. Whatever. Yes, it's a Zamperla. Um, but yeah, it is a clone of Daddy Pig's roller coaster. So, uh, as for a tier, um, I'm gonna put in the intriguing category. I've ridden a couple Zamperla coasters before, or I've ridden like one Zamperla gravity coaster, which was like their older kiddie coaster model. That was all right, except there was one jerky moment which I wasn't too big of a fan of. I don't know if Daddy Pig's roller coaster has the thing where whatchamacall, a kid has to ride with like a taller person, and that taller person has to sit on like a certain side of the train. Hopefully that's not the case. But yeah. I'll put it in the intriguing category. Plus it's not it's a pretty close park to me. Like that's relative terms. um okay. So, oh my gosh, how are we doing on time? Almost an hour and a half already. That's that's impressive. That's more than I thought. Uh okay, so I'll probably do like 4 rounds of Guess the Coaster then. Okay. Thanks for watching the tier list I got. Hopefully enjoyed it. I know you guys' rankings will be a little different from mine, but yeah, this is what we're looking at for next year. This is a pretty decent coaster lineup. Maybe 2023 was a little better, but actually we don't even know. There could be like some surprise coaster openings. Um, all right. So with that being said, I'm gonna stop sharing. Uh, I'm going to change the banner. And now we're going to move on to Guess the Coaster. So I guess for those of you who don't know how this works, I believe most of you have done this before on Carrick's amazing live streams. Go check out his channel if you haven't yet. Basically, how this works is I have a coaster up here, and you have to ask either yes or no questions, or you just guess, or the coaster, or you guess the coaster once you know like enough about it, theoretically. So you say like, oh, is it wood? Is it steel? Is it like a sit down coaster, or is it like an invert? Is it like over 200 feet? Sort of stuff like that, or like, is it in the U.S.? So yes or no questions. We're going to do 4 rounds of this. I have my first coaster, so you may start guessing in the chat. And hopefully I could keep up with the chat good enough. Yeah. How many people are on here? 8. Let's go. Okay, 8 people watching this. All right. Is in the US? Yes, it is in the US. It is not a wooden coaster. So far we have US non-wooden coaster. Is it defunct? No, it is not defunct. It is operating. So it's not SBNO either. So far we got American operating non-wooden coaster. What else we got? East side of the Mississippi River. Yes, this coaster is east of the Mississippi River. Is it a B&M? No, it is not a B&M, but it does have inversions. It is not an Intamin. So far we got American non-wooden coaster with inversions on the east side of Mississippi. And if you don't remember the recap, you can just say in the chat like recap, and I'll remind y'all what we know so far. Is it made by a European manufacturer? No, it is not. So if that gives you any indication. Is it over 100 feet tall? Yes, it definitely is. Does it have a launch? No, it does not have a launch. So we got American coaster east of the Mississippi River, has inversions, doesn't have a launch, and it's over 100 feet. Oh, sorry, I forgot one. Is it an RMC? Yes, it is an RMC. I almost forgot about that one. Okay, so it is an RMC east of the Mississippi River. Yeah. I should not have skipped that one. Lightning Rod. It is not Lightning Rod. Good guess though. And also, I believe Lightning Rod is part wood. At least part of the track is the topper track. Wicked Cyclone. No, it is not Wicked Cyclone. It is not Iron Gwazi. It is not Steel Vengeance. But Coaster Hour did get it first. It is Airy Force 1 at Fun Spot Atlanta. It is opened up last year. Probably looks like one of the best out there. Yeah, it looks like a blast. I don't know when I'll ever get to ride that one, but it looks really good. Let me find my next coaster. Ooh. This one might be a little harder. Yeah, I think you guys could do it. Okay. I have my next coaster. You may guess away on the next one. Is it in Europe? Yes, it is in Europe. So far we got a European coaster. So it's not in the US. Is it defunct? No, it is not defunct. So it is operating. Was it made by an American manufacturer? No, it is not made by an American manufacturer. Is it over 100 feet? No height is listed, but I would assume no. It is not over 100 feet. Does it have inversions? No, it does not have inversions. Does it have a launch? No, it does not have a launch. So far, is it indoors? For most of the ride, it is. So far, we got a European, mostly indoor coaster, without launches, and it's under 100 feet. Is it tamer than a thrill coaster? Yes, it is. Oh my gosh, Coaster Hour got it. It is Crush's Coaster at Walt Disney Studios. That is insane. Good job. Yeah. It is a Maurer spinning coaster. And the artwork is extra loud now, so sorry. Wow. That was faster than I thought. Let me get my next coaster. Ooh, I got it. This one's probably a little easier. We'll see. Okay, I have my third coaster, so guess away. Da, da, da. Is it in Asia? No, it is not in Asia. Is it in the US? Yes, it is in the US. So far we got, well, an American coaster. So yeah, it would be in North America. Is it defunct? No, it is not defunct. Is it made by a European manufacturer? Uh, there's no like manufacturer. There's a builder listed, but no manufacturer listed. But it's not an American manufacturer. Yes, it is wooden. It is. I'd say it's a thrill coaster. It doesn't have inversions. It does not have a launch. So yeah, so far we got an American wooden coaster. Uh, well, made by an American manufacturer. Giant Dipper. It is not Giant Dipper. Nice guess though. Uh, yeah, I would classify this one as a thrill coaster. Is Grizzly? No, it is not Grizzly. Is it west of the Mississippi? No, it is not. Um, so uh, Grizzly's a good guess. It is not Grizzly though. So far we got a American wooden coaster east or not west of the Mississippi. It is not the Beast and it is not Coastersaurus. Uh, yeah. This is also coming from my iPhone, by the way. Hopefully the quality's good. It's also wirelessly connected to my computer. Is it built after 1990? No, it is not built after 1990. So I think you guys are on the right track guessing like older wooden coasters. Uh, got American wooden coaster, not west after. Is it built after 1960? No, it is not built after 1960. Yeah, the quality is solid. Okay, good. I am glad. Uh, so thrilling wooden coaster, not west of the Mississippi. Uh, Thunderbolt. It is not Thunderbolt. I'm assuming. Was it built by PTC? Yes, it was built by PTC. Uh, so far we got a PTC Woody, not west of the Mississippi. We don't have a name. It is not Big Dipper. I'm assuming by Thunderbolt you mean the one. I guess there's multiple Thunderbolts. It is not Roller Coaster. It's not Jackrabbit. Which racer? um, that's what I'll ask you guys. Uh, let's see who gets the park first. It's like a 50-50 chance. Okay, on my screen, Carrot got it first. It is Racer at Kennywood. Damn, it was a 50-50 chance. Charger PC, you were so close. Yeah, it is Racer at Kennywood. So this is the one with the Mobius loop. Yeah, it's also like old. All right. Good job on that. That was a really close one. There's a park called World of Fun, not Worlds of Fun. I won't do that one. Let's see. Ooh, that's a good one. Okay. You're probably going to Kennywood this year. Awesome. Hopefully Steel Curtain will be open for you. And Phantom's Revenge looks incredible. Okay. I have my last coaster, so guess away. Is it defunct? No, it is not defunct. Is in the US? No, it is not in the US. It is not in North America either. And is not in Europe. Yes, it is in Asia. So far we got an Asian operating coaster. Is in China. Yes, it unfortunately is in China, but this is a notable one. So I don't think it will be too hard. It is not in Japan and is not made by an Asian manufacturer. Does it have inversions? Yes, it has inversions. And it's not in South Korea. So far we got a Chinese coaster with inversions, not from a Chinese manufacturer. Is it made by Intamin? Yes, it is made by Intamin. So we got a Chinese Intamin coaster. At least a few options. So it is not Dynaconda and it's not Gravity Max. Is it Dueling Dragons? No, it is not Dueling Dragons. Good guess though. But Charged on PC did get it first. It is Soaring with Dragon at Hatefei Sunek Land. So good job. Yeah, that coaster also looks really good. When you say what does it have inversions, I'm surprised to see that it only has one inversion, but I mean, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, that is that. Would you guys like to do one more round? I was planning like beat me to it. I was thinking like 4 to 5 rounds, and this was the 4th round. So I don't know. You guys want one more round? We'll see. I totally would. You want to catch up? Okay, we'll do one more round. Hi, I went to your high. Oh my gosh, Ben, hello. Welcome to the stream. We are guessing coasters. So I guess if you want to participate in that, you may. Nice to see you on here. My typing practice has paid off. Okay. Let me get my next coast. Oh, actually, this might be harder, but I'm gonna do this one. Okay. I mean, I can try, but I know not one thing about coasters. That's okay. You can watch the game if you like to. Then, yeah, I do have my last coaster, so feel free to guess away. Is in Asia? No, it is not in Asia. Basically, how this game works is you ask like yes or no questions, and then whatchamacall, you sort of like get to narrow it down until you know the coaster and you guess it. Whoever gets it first wins. And yeah, kind of like 20 questions if you ever played that game before. Okay. Is it in Europe? No, it is not in Europe, but it is in the US and it is not defunct. Is it by a European manufacturer? Yes, it is made by a European manufacturer. It is not a thrill coaster, and it is not over 100 feet. Is it a Disney coaster? No, it is not a Disney coaster, unfortunately. I'd say that'd probably make it pretty easy. Is it wooden? No, it is not wooden. Is it a spinning coaster? It is not a spinning coaster either. So far we got a steel, non-inverting, non-thrill coaster in America. Is it a Vekoma? No, it is not a Vekoma. It does not have a launch. It is a mock coaster though. So we got a German coaster. So a US mock coaster that is under 100 feet. So it's not a Intamin, it's not a Zero, it's not a Zamproa. It is not Coast Rider, thankfully. But it is a Wild Mouse coaster though. So yeah, Mock has made a lot of wild mice. It is not Wild Mouse, it is not Ricochet. It doesn't have a common Wild Mouse name. It's not Reptilian. Is that a chain park? Yes, it is at a chain park. So that's like Cedar Fair, Disney, Universal, Six Flags. Well, Six Flags and Cedar Fair may soon be merging. So there's that. It is not the Great Lego Race and is not Technic Coaster either. So we have a Wild Mouse from Mock. We don't have a park yet. It is not Coast Rider. And it is not Dark Knight Coaster either. Yeah, that's what we got so far. Gotham City Gauntlet. Good guess. It is not Gotham City Gauntlet. We haven't had a chain. We don't have a chain part, or we don't have a chain yet. Yeah, that is the full name. What a name. There's a lot of wild mice out there, so it may be hard that way. It's not at a Six Flags park yet, if that gives any indicator. So yeah, it is at a Cedar Fair park. So yeah, so far we got a mock wild mouse at a Cedar Fair park. It is not Psycho Mouse. Good guess. It is not Crazy Mouse. It is not Wild Mouse at Dorney. If it was named Wild Mouse, I'd probably say Witch Park, like Racer. That's not right. Oh, I probably didn't know that either. Okay. All right. Cedar Fair Mock Wild Mouse. Let's see. It's one that was like it kind of honestly, I kind of forgot this one existed. Not gonna lie. Oh, it's not one at Cedar Fair. Okay, I see. Former Paramount Park. It is at a former Paramount Park. You are so yeah. Uh, what's the one at Michigan's Adventure? I think that one is Psycho Mouse, if I remember correctly, but it's not Psycho Mouse. I can look that one up though. Oh, we got some stuff. It's not the one at CGA, but Coaster Hour did get it first. It is, gosh, this name. It is Apple Zapple at King's Dominion. This one used to be called Ricochet. So I guess if you guessed Ricochet, you were close. Oh, did he actually say that earlier? I probably like. Oh yeah, he did say it earlier. Oh, that's my bad. Okay. Yeah, for some reason I completely went over the answer. Yeah, it is Apple Zapple. Yeah, barrage of answers. But yeah, congrats to Carrick. You got, I think, like 4 out of 5 rounds. um, but yeah, good job to everyone. Thanks for participating. I think with that out of the way, whatchamacall? I think it's time for a final Q&A. Change the banner. Okay. You got 4-1. Damn, that's okay. I believe you did very well on other rounds on Carrick's live streams. So, yeah, good game, y'all. Now it is time for the final Q&A. So, whatchamacall? Yeah. So, if you have any last questions, I think there might be some other ones I didn't answer. Ooh, this is an interesting one. Bucket list flat rides. I don't think my list has changed too much from when I last made a video about this topic. Um, Flat rides is like any ride other than a coaster that's not like in a trough either. It's like spinny rides. Those are flat rides. So I'd say for my top bucket list flat rides, I still want to ride a slingshot, or I still need to ride a slingshot. And I guess you could say a sky coaster as well. I do want to ride. I don't know if they still have it at Liseberg, but Mechanica. That's sort of like a top scan mixed with a inverting frisbee ride thing. That looks insane. Um, I think there's also like a giant booster as well. So that looks incredible as well. And I'd say probably also uh, one of those tilting drop towers. So like Falcon's Fury at Busch Gardens Tampa, or I believe it's Icarus at a at Gronelund in Sweden. So those tilting drop towers look incredible as well. Uh, what's another one? I guess like just any Canada's Wonderland unique flat ride, because that park for some reason just gets so many flat rides. It's insane. um, and they're all like, and most of them are like unique flat rides as well. So definitely would be very interesting to take a trip to Canada's Wonderland someday. Um, all right, bucket list dark rides. So let's see. Uh, Probably, I think the first one would have to be like some Rise of the Resistance ride. So either one at like Disneyland or Disney World. I haven't gotten to do that one yet. And I heard a lot of good things about those rides. And I didn't watch POV of that one yet. So that one's going to be interesting for sure. I heard there's some really good dark rides at Efteling. So maybe one of those. Uh, I don't know of too many other ones I really want to ride. I probably am forgetting some as well. Ooh, what was it? I heard a lot of good things about Darren Brown's Ghost Train. Uh, that one's at whatchamacall, Thorpe Park in England. I heard that one's really good, and I think also Pandora, or what is that ride called? Flight of Passage. Yeah, Flight of Passage at Disney World. I heard is also a really good one. So I'd say those are probably the few that come to my mind for like bucket list dark rides. Okay. Um, your brother just found some old amusement park maps. Oh, that's cool. I don't collect too many amusement park maps anymore. I kind of used to. Uh, I don't know if Magic. I couldn't find any at Magic Mountain. I probably just didn't look hard enough though. um, that's fine. Including one oh, we had one with Big Bad Wolf in it. That is pretty old. Santa's Village and Storyland. Disneyland maps. That's cool. Ooh, Gerstlauer Skyfly. That's also another really cool flat ride because like you get to control how much flips you get to do. So that's really nice. Um, your friend rode that, but he's not an enthusiast. Ooh, wonder what he thought of that. Probably a pretty thrilling ride. Okay. Canadians love their flat rides. Keep avoiding the POV if possible. Yeah, I usually like to look at POVs for coasters before riding, but flat ride, or sorry, not flat rides, dark rides I tend to avoid because uh, I feel like those I want to experience like firsthand. So yeah. Uh, what else is there? Mystic. Yeah. So for the dark rides I talked about, I don't think I've seen a POV for any of them. I guess it's probably a good thing. We'll see. Um, yeah, I think Mystic Manors is that the one at Efteling? I know Mystic Manor is a really good one from what I heard. Ooh, I guess if I were to consider another one, Journey to the Center of the Earth at a Disney Sea. I heard that one's a really good one as well. Soren has a higher frame rate. Interesting. Darren Brown's was redone recently. Ooh, hopefully it's better. Universal stopped doing physical maps. Makes sense. It's Universal. Uh, Boost it to me. Oh boy. Yeah, I bet that would boost it for you. I think my monitor is like 75 hertz. So yeah. Oh, but my phone is 120 hertz. Oh, Mystic Matters at Hong Kong Disneyland. Oh, whoops. Oh, Symbolica. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I heard Symbolica was good. Difficult. Oh, the stream just froze. Oh, it's lagging. Is it better now? Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Let me check my internet. Internet's, I guess, fine. Oh, my brother is playing video games. That might have something to do with it. Oh gosh. Is it? Oh, now I'm back? Okay, perfect. Uh, Gosh. It might just be a Wi-Fi problem. My brother might be using up my internet. Uh, what did I even do? Or, sorry, I meant like, how did I even get it back to working? Damn. Uh, how can I fix this? I could turn Wi-Fi off of here. I could. How can I fix this without telling my brother to stop playing his games? Fine for me right now? Okay. Hopefully it stays like that for a while. Um, Hopefully it doesn't lag again. Yeah, hopefully. Okay. It seems like it's better now. Maybe it might be a phone issue. Okay. Seems like that's fine for now. Because, yeah, this is a wireless connection from my phone to my computer. So there might be some problems with that. Okay. We'll just work with that for now. See how that goes. Okay. Um, let's see. Maybe I missed the question from like earlier. Uh, Let me see if I missed any questions from earlier. It doesn't seem like I missed any questions from earlier. Ooh, top bucket list coaster. Oh gosh, this is a really hard one because like there's so many good coasters now. It was a little more clear back in 2018 when I first made the list. But now there's like much more. uh, let's see. I'd say as for a top bucket list coaster, I'd probably go for uh like better versions of my two favorite coasters I've ridden. So Steel Vengeance or Ajanica are probably my two bucket list coasters right now. Because my two favorite coasters I've ridden now are X2 and Twisted Colossus. So just better versions of those. What is your most anticipated upcoming park? Okay. Uh, if Six Flags Qiddiya was like in a more accessible location, I'd probably say that. But I don't know when I'm likely to visit Saudi Arabia. So with that, I'd say it's probably ooh. I'm gonna go with Epic Universe 2, just because it's probably gonna be a super like immersive park. It's a universal park, so it's gonna be immersive. But I'd say I'm also really excited for Coda Land when that opens because it's like it has two really interesting coasters, an infinity coaster and a tilt coaster. And it's also by a racetrack, I believe, as well. So I'm also excited for Coda Land when that opens up. They seem to have really good taste in coasters. um, Here's a Six Flags Qiddiya. Yeah, that's true. Yes, there is a coaster called 808. It's in Japan. Uh, yeah, it's basically if you ever heard of X2 at Six Flags Magic Mountain, it's like a better version of that coaster. So wing seats that are rotating, has some 40 stuff. Uh, yeah, it's a really cool looking coaster. Yeah, Kodaland should be cool, definitely. Plus, yeah, Kodaland should be pretty interesting. Oh, you're a Japanese major? That's cool. Yeah, it's at Fuji Q Highland, so it's like it's right by Tokyo, and it should be right by Mount Fuji as well. So, if you're in Tokyo area, maybe consider the park. It has some other really interesting coasters. Um, except their operations may not be the best. Like, probably expect long lines if you go to that park, from what I've heard. Uh, so yeah, that is yeah, Agent Ika. I don't know, it's weird. Uh, I have considered going to Japan recently because like Japan is technically like the a pretty similar distance as if I were to go from here to California. It's a little farther away. Uh, so and I've never been to Japan before. Japan looks really cool. So yeah, I really want to go to Japan. Your only concerns for Qiddiya outside of its location is how well ran and how reliable the rides be. Um, yeah, that is true. If you think about it, Falcon's Flight is going to be the world's tallest, fastest, and longest coaster. There's probably going to be some unreliability issues with that, although it's using LSM launches, so it's not going to be too bad, hopefully. Plus, they also have some other notable coasters like a tilt coaster. We don't know how reliable tilt coasters are. It's Vekoma. It shouldn't be that bad. Uh, but yeah, we'll see how that part goes. There's probably not going to be too much footage of it though. All right. What coaster in Virginia would you ride if you could only ride one? Ooh. Uh, Probably Intimidator 305. Not that it's going to be my favorite coaster there. It's still going to be one of my favorites. It's just that there isn't any ride like Intimidator 305. Because like Pantheon would be another one, except there's two Tatis I could also ride. Twisted Timbers, there's a lot of other RMCs I could ride. Uh, but I don't think anything is quite similar to Intimidator 305. That ride looks insane. So I'd say Intimidator 305. Uh, Probably the first Asian country I'd go to. That would make sense. Yeah. Uh, oh, Virginia's your home state. I see. Yeah, Virginia's got a really good coaster lineup. In terms of like comparing states, Virginia is like definitely one of the better ones. Uh, I-305 is your number one. Totally makes sense. I'm very. I wonder if I will gray out on that first turn. I mean, I most likely will if I ever get to ride Intimidator 305. Uh, yeah, that ride is gonna be insane if I ever get to ride it. Um, yeah, Pantheon is. I'm pretty. I heard that ride is really good as well. Hopefully, SeaWorld adds more theming to Pantheon, because it's Busch. It's a Busch Gardens park. It should. Yeah, that's exactly why I would pick I-305. Uh, oh, Six Flags America is your home park. That's a pretty cool home park. You guys are getting improved Mind Eraser. Uh, Hopefully that'll make the ride uh, more enjoyable. Uh, Not too crazy other than a gray out or blackout. Okay, yeah. I know I-305 is all about the positives. I'm more of an airtime kind of person, but I'm still probably gonna really like I-305. Uh, if not, I'll still respect it. The turn is interesting. Yeah, that's for sure. All right. I guess if there isn't too many questions, I'll probably wrap it up. I mean, I intended for this stream to be like an hour and a half. Oh, I just peaked 2 hours. um, so yeah, the entire era gained new life is much needed. Oh yeah, there is a new Nebulas. Yeah, I'm those nebula rides look really interesting. I'd probably really enjoy one. Uh, yeah, looks really good. Uh, yeah, I know I do have as a couple airtime moments. I would assume they're probably really good moments as well. Uh, Voyager Beast are my one and two. Falcon's Flight number one, but yeah, I'd say like I know I'm probably very not likely to go to Saudi Arabia, but Falcon's Flight, there's when it opens up, there's nothing really like it at all. Uh, I don't because like the nearest coasters to it are going like 150 miles per hour around, 450 feet tall. Uh, Falcon's Flight is just a whole new beast, and yeah, um, that ride's gonna be something special, that's for sure. And as for Voyage and Beast are number one and two, that makes perfect sense. Those two rides look incredible for different reasons, of course. Voyage, I feel like Voyage is what I like in or because like my favorite wind coaster I've ridden right now is Ghost Rider, and I feel like Voyage just takes everything I like about Ghost Rider and just elaborates on it more. Uh, yeah, I that's why Voyage is my top bucket list wind coaster. And then yeah, Beast also looks really good. Ooh, interesting. All right. Um, just hope sand on the rails is not an issue. Yeah, that is one thing to consider. I'm pretty sure the engineers probably thought of that though. Or at least hopefully they did. uh, yeah, I'm pretty sure they have some like precaution for that. You still have Ride to Happiness and Asianica over it. That's fair. Ride to Happiness. Oh, I totally forgot about that one. Ride to Happiness does look incredible as well. See, that's the hard thing. There's because like in 2018, there's like a few S tier attractions. So it's like it was more clear for me to see like, okay, what coasters do I want to ride the most? Now there's just so many good coasters that like it's really difficult to choose a favorite. Uh, but yeah, Age of Nika still would probably. I wonder how. I wonder what the ride quality in Age of Nika is like. Because I know X2, it's a little rattly, but I'm able to look past it. But like, is Age of Nika going to be smoother? I don't know. And I know Ride to Happiness is probably well, obviously it's the best spinning coaster out there, so that too. Not an issue for Formula Rosa. Oh yeah, that is true. I Formula Rosa is also in a desert, so but I guess Formula Rosa isn't on a cliff, and it does go. I guess if it's taller, that would probably help. But yeah, it shouldn't be a problem. Plus, I would assume, well, the front car has that like that protective glass thing, um, and I wouldn't be too surprised if the front row riders have to wear goggles in addition to that. It would make sense to me. I don't know. That is true. Yeah. That's why Falcon's Flight isn't ranked as high as it probably should be, because yeah, I'm more likely to visit Japan and mainland America than Saudi Arabia. That's for sure. Yeah. Well, I guess like if you guys have any last questions, feel free to put that in. I'll probably wrap it up soon. Because this is overtime, which is like totally fine, of course. But yeah, I guess yeah, so I guess I'll probably answer a few more, but if that's it, then I guess thank you guys for tuning into the stream. I know I haven't done a live stream in like quite a while. I think the last one I did was like a year and a half ago. Um, so if you guys enjoy these streams, feel free to let me know. I might do more throughout the year. We'll see. But I don't know. Yeah, hopefully I could get more content out to you guys. I know it's hard to find this balance between like uploading consistently and getting out really good quality content, because I know stuff like the reviews, the analyses, the top 10 lists where I talk, those take longer than the other forms of content I sometimes make, like the shorts, the POV countdowns. So it's hard to find that balance. But I guess like I heard you guys like the reviews. So I'll definitely make more reviews, assuming I have more coasters to review. And then yeah, again, I'll probably make a couple analyses of like upcoming coasters. Hey Texan coasters, glad you could make it to the stream. We're sort of wrapping up the Q&A, so if you have any like Q&A stuff, feel free to put that in. Thank you for the anniversary wishes. Yeah, 6 years now. I feel old. It's kind of insane how this has been around for 6 years. But yeah. I know, but yeah, engineering college is definitely gonna hinder content a decent bit. I'll try my best though. We'll see how 2024 turns out. Let's see. So, what are your top 3 parks? Ooh, that's a hard one. Cause I've been to like a few notable parks, but I like them for different reasons. But that being said, I'd say number one, and I don't usually judge parks based solely off their coaster lineups, but if that's all they offer, then I judge it based off of that. So let's see. Should I start with number? No, I'll start with number 3. Number 3, I'm probably gonna go with. Let's see. Number 3. I can do this. Number 3, I'd probably go with Six Flags Magic Mountain. Don't get me wrong, their coaster lineup is incredible. Like many of my top coasters are from that park, but there's there are some certain other things about the park that I think they could definitely improve. Like first of all, operations. Like I heard recently, operations at the park have not been the best. Just looking based off of Instagram stories, they like to do one train ops or like running rides with one train, even on like the busiest days. So the lines will get like extra long, and I don't have a lot of shade in the park either. So when I went, it was very hot, which I guess means that the rides will be running better, but still not ideal. I guess like with a park this massive, it's hard not to get tired after going to the park. But yeah, if they could just improve like other park things, so like food, ride operations, overall like landscaping, then they'll rank higher. But as of right now, coaster lineup's great. Other parts of the park could definitely improve. Number 2, I'm probably gonna put number two as Hershey Park. So Hershey Park kind of feels similar to Magic Mountain, in my opinion, as in like it's a very big park. You're gonna have to walk a lot. You got a lot of great coasters at the park as well. When I went, Sky Rush was closed, and Wildcat's Revenge hasn't even started construction yet because I rode Wildcat before then. Um, but I did enjoy the atmosphere of Hershey Park a little more. It's like a little more shade. And of course, the food at Hershey Park is even better. And I didn't even do like everything there is to do at Hershey Park. Like I did all the coasters, but there's like a dark ride I still could have done, a whole zoo, a whole water park. I mean, of course, Magic Mountain also has a water park, but Hershey Park is like it does Magic Mountain things, but a little better in some ways. As for number one, it's probably not what most enthusiasts would say, but I would still put Disneyland um, in California as my number one. Uh, it's not like a drastic number one, or it's not like number one by far, but the park overall it doesn't do coasters too well. It only has like a few family coasters, but everything else about the park, I don't think most parks could beat. Like it's very immersive, um, good operations, good food, um, pretty decent crowd management. Well, they have to have good crowd management. It's like the most attended theme park in the world, or one of the most attended theme parks. So, yeah, I'd say Disneyland number one. It's very different from most other parks. That's probably why I like it so much. And by Disneyland, I do not mean California Adventure. That's not included. Uh, yeah, Disneyland is still is still my favorite. A close honorable mention should go to Knott's Berry Farm. I still really enjoy that park. I like how compact it is and has a really good quality ride lineup. I also went before the few mishaps have happened, like Montezuma. So I did get to ride Montezuma's Revenge. Um, yeah. Did I do the chocolate tour dark ride? Yes, I did. Hershey's Chocolate Factory is. I did go to Hershey's Chocolate Factory. That was cool as well. World's biggest Hershey store. So yeah, Disneyland would have a good chance. That is true. Yeah, Disneyland just does park things very well. It just needs to do the coaster stuff better. And plus, I went before Galaxy's Edge even opened, so there is that as well. Let's see. On a scale of 1 to 10, Top Thrill 2 is better than Dragster Theme. I'd say like a 6. The Dragster theme was just classic, I feel like. But I do like how they sort of made Top Thrill 2 a more modern aesthetic. Uh, I like the Top Thrill 2 theme. Um, yeah, I just like how they modernized the ride. Um, yeah. Let's see. You're a college freshman right now. Oh, that's cool. I'm a current sophomore in college. Um, what is better, Top Thrill 2 or the dive coaster at Dorney? I still say Top Thrill 2 is um, probably better, just because like you have like probably the world's biggest swing launch ever. You go over 400 feet, you go 100 miles per hour. That in itself probably makes it better. Um, Iron Menace still seems like a good ride though. Let's see. Magic Kingdom might be your number park right now. That's interesting. I heard most people generally say Magic Kingdom's not their favorite Disney World park. I guess mostly because of the crowds though. So if you went on the not too crowdy day, I could see why. Uh, yeah, I guess yeah, Magic Kingdom would probably be close for me as well, assuming the crowds aren't too bad at that park. What do you think of the Top Throw 2 spike? I think it looks really cool. I haven't done too many spikes before, but I'm assuming that's going to be like one of the best spikes out there. Uh, I wonder what will be better on that ride, a front row ride or a back row ride? Because the back row, you get whipped over the drop, and you go higher on the spike now. But in the front, of course, you get the wind in your face from the launch. So it'll be interesting to find out how that one turns out. For sure. All right. See ya, Texan Coasters. I'll probably wrap up the stream up very soon as well. But yeah, thanks for joining. Um, yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the stream. What's your favorite family coaster? Space Mountain. That's probably my favorite family coaster. I rode it as both Hyperspace Mountain and the normal Space Mountain. Um, as for which version I like better, I like them about equal for like different reasons. Space, the original theme is just classic. Hyperspace Mountain theme is still really cool as well. But anyway, uh, that ride is like much more intense than I thought going in. So yeah, that's probably why it's my favorite family coaster, and it's the Disneyland one to be precise. Uh, you like the Magic Kingdom one? That's interesting because I know the Magic Kingdom one is like an older one too. Um, has so much ejector. I guess that would make sense. Is the Magic Kingdom one made by Arrow? I don't remember for whatever reason. Uh, let's see. Huh, manufacturers enlisted. uh, the Disneyland one is made by Dynamic Attractions. It is also pretty smooth. Uh, it has borderline ejector airtime on some moments, but I'd say the airtime's mostly floater. It doesn't have too many moments. All I'd say is the bank turns are pretty intense. Some of them you get like decent positives, others you get some laterals as well. So that's probably the best part of that one. Um, some people some people say the Disneyland one is better. Others say the Magic Kingdom one's better. So I'm actually very interested to ride the Magic Kingdom one. I wonder how that one's gonna go. I heard it's a little rougher than the Disneyland one, but the layout might be better. We'll see. The track was made by Schwarzkopf. Interesting. The if you turn the lights on the Magic Kingdom one, it kind of looks like Arrow track. That's why I was assuming Arrow. But but nothing's listed on RCDB, so uh, I don't know for sure. McDougal. Oh boy. Uh, yeah. The arrow might have been involved somehow. That would make sense. Um, your favorite family coaster is Guardians. That one looks incredible. I believe that's like the most expensive coaster as well. So that's really cool. Um, yeah, I love McDougal's. Let's see. Okay. I guess if there isn't any more, I'll probably wrap it up here. Uh, you think El Toro Ryan? Oh, El Toro Ryan said that. I probably trust El Toro Ryan. I'll take his word for it. Oh, what's McDougal's? It's a nick. So when I went to Magic Mountain with Carrick, that was our nickname for McDonald's because we got that for breakfast once. That's what his brother called it. Uh, so yeah, that's where McDougal's came from. FYI. Okay. I guess with that being said, um, okay. So Thank you all so much, especially for the people who went from like start to end in this stream. Thank you all so much for watching it. Really do appreciate it. Uh, I guess as for content, well, I guess like we said, except expect reviews. And yeah, hopefully I could upload more this semester. I have less credits this semester. Because last semester I had like 18 and 17 credits, or last year I had 18 and 17 credits. That was a lot. Um, so this semester I have 15. So hopefully that means I have more time to make content. We'll see about that. But thank you all for like sticking around, even though uploads from this channel are like super scarce. But yeah, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks for tuning in. Maybe I'll do more live streams throughout the year. We'll see. Probably during breaks though. Uh, but yeah, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Happy 2024. And with that being said, I will see you all next time.